My brother's girlfriend tried to force her kids into my life. I finally snapped and told the truth. I didn't think I could fall in love this deeply again. I've been married once before, but this connection with my current fiancé feels unlike anything I've ever experienced. Everything was going great, until a recent conversation cracked the foundation. My fiancé has always stayed on friendly terms with their exes, and honestly, that never bothered me. I'm not the jealous type, and most of them have been kind and cordial. All except one, their former fiancé. That relationship lasted nearly 10 years, and while they never married, my fiancé often mentioned that if it hadn't been for the ex's complicated family situation, they probably would've. Although they officially ended things about 3 years before we started dating, they continued hooking up until just a month before meeting me. That was hard to process. I tried to be mature, to trust them, to chalk up my discomfort to past wounds and not intuition. So, I let it go. I even attempted to be friendly with the ex, sent a few jokes, made polite conversation, but something always felt off. They acted distant and, frankly, inappropriate. I overheard flirtatious remarks during their calls, and they made it clear, subtly but intentionally, that they didn't respect me or my family. I gave them more than one chance to be decent, but they continued to cross lines. And then came the moment that broke me. My fiancé asked if they could invite this ex to our wedding. They know I've blocked this person. They know how I've been treated. They know I've felt like the backup plan all along. And yet, they asked. It wasn't just the request, it was how they presented it. I'd really like to invite her. We're still friends, and I still care about her. But if it makes you uncomfortable, I won't. I froze. If they truly understood how painful this is for me, why even ask? That one question drained the excitement out of planning the wedding. My first marriage felt like something I had to endure, not enjoy. Since then, I've worked hard to reclaim my voice, to set healthy boundaries, to not shrink myself for someone else. But this brought me back to the worst parts of that past. I felt like a second best again. A safe rebound, not someone chosen wholeheartedly. Still, I tried to suppress those thoughts because I love my fiancé deeply. But love isn't supposed to come at the cost of self-respect. I've always avoided ultimatums, but I reached my limit. I don't want to lose them, but I refuse to betray myself just to hold on to a relationship. If we never get married, so be it. I'd rather be alone than invisible. Eventually, I gathered the strength to tell my fiancé how I felt. I told them about the disrespect, the emotional weight, how I'd tried and failed to feel okay about their connection with the ex. I even said, if having her there matters that much, I'll let you go. Have the wedding you want. That hit home. They were stunned, apologized immediately, and said they had no idea how much it had hurt me. Apparently, my calm demeanor made them think I didn't mind. But that calm was out of respect. I didn't want to be controlling. They told me I'm the most important person in their life, that they never wanted me to feel like a consolation. They promised she would not attend the wedding and admitted they hadn't taken my feelings seriously enough until now. We've agreed to take a step back from wedding planning. No date, no rush, just space to heal and rebuild. Maybe one day, when this hurt is far behind us, we'll look back and laugh. Or maybe we won't. Either way, I'm glad I stood up for myself. Some things are too important to compromise. One of them is your peace. Fast forward a bit. After everything that's happened, I'm still wondering if I was too blunt or just finally honest. My brother's girlfriend, Natalie, is upset with me because I don't want her kids at my house unless she's there, and somehow that means I'm excluding them from our family. For context, I'm a 32-year-old mom with 2 little boys, one is 10 months, the other just turned 3. I adore my kids, but I've never been one of those people who loves all children by default. Natalie is 31, and she has a 7-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter. When she started dating my brother, she seemed excited that we both had kids and began fantasizing about our children bonding like they were meant to be lifelong buddies. But that just didn't happen. Not because of anyone's attitude, but because the age difference makes it unrealistic. My youngest is barely a toddler. My oldest just started stringing real sentences together. Her 7-year-old? He's not interested in babies. And her daughter? She's wild. My son avoids her like the plague. He clings to me or my husband anytime she's around. She's pushed him, broken one of his toys, and doesn't seem to know how to play with younger kids. Still, we've tried to be kind. Last Christmas, we bought gifts for her kids when we all got together at my parents' house. We've never been rude. But recently, Natalie decided to confront me. According to her, I don't show enough interest in her kids, I won't invite them over for playdates without her, and I don't force my son to play with her daughter. I told her the truth, I won't make my son hang out with someone he doesn't feel safe around. And I'm not comfortable having her kids in my home unsupervised. I barely know them, and I'm not about to take full responsibility for kids I've only met a handful of times. She called me cold. I said I'm not trying to be, it's just who I am. I'm not naturally maternal with other people's children. She pointed out that I am with my own, like that somehow proves I'm faking. Of course I treat my own kids differently, they're mine. She also complained that my parents favor my kids. But they're their biological grandchildren. That's not favoritism, it's family. I finally told her, Natalie, you've been with my brother for a year. We've met a few times. We were always polite and welcoming. But you can't expect us to treat your children exactly like our own. That's just not how it works. After that, my brother told me she cried and felt like I was harsh. He agrees with me but asked if I could be more understanding. I told him I've been civil, but she's starting to act manipulative. If she doesn't want the truth, she shouldn't initiate these conversations. He's overwhelmed and doesn't know how to handle it. And honestly, I'm not sure if I said anything wrong. The whole thing left me confused and drained. May 22nd update. The response to my original post has been huge. I've read your comments and I'm grateful for the support, even if I couldn't reply to everyone. One thing a lot of people mentioned was that Natalie seems to be looking for an instant family. That wasn't a term I was familiar with, but it makes sense now. A lot of you asked about her family situation. I don't know much, just that it's complicated. My brother said she has a strained relationship with her relatives, and we didn't pry. To clarify, I've only met her kids 4 times. Last year I was pregnant, gave birth, and was focused on raising a newborn and a toddler. Sorry for not dropping everything to bond with my brother's new girlfriend. I don't form connections instantly. That's just not who I am. Some people accused me of being cruel for not being part of her village. But I already have a village, my husband, my kids, our pets. That's where my energy goes. I don't owe anyone else emotional labor, especially someone I barely know. And for those wondering, yes, my 3-year-old is a little menace. He eats the cat food when I'm not looking and tries to stick his fingers in sockets. If you've got a kid that age, you know what I mean. After thinking about everything, I realized my brother has been unfair. He's asked me to be understanding, but has he extended the same grace to me? Has he defended his nephew when Natalie's daughter pushed him? Has he stood up for our parents when she accused them of being distant? So I texted him. Hey, I need to get this off my chest. I know this might upset you, but I posted about all this online and got feedback from people who don't know us. Maybe you'll find it helpful. But here's what I really think, you've asked me to be understanding, but you haven't been fair to me. I get that Natalie may have issues and needs acceptance, but I'm not the reason she feels excluded. Have you even explained to her that I'm dealing with a toddler and a baby? That I'm doing my best? I love you, and I want you to be happy. But I need some space from all this toxicity. Please make it clear to Natalie that I'm not her emotional crutch. I'm not her therapist. I'm not her target when things don't go her way. He responded an hour later saying he needed a few days to think and would come over to talk soon. Honestly, I've lowered my expectations. Natalie is his girlfriend. This is his mess to sort out. Let's see what he does next. May 25th update. He came over yesterday evening after work. It was awkward at first, we both kind of danced around the subject for a bit, but eventually, he brought it up. He said he read through the Reddit post and a bunch of the comments. Some made him defensive, others hit home. He admitted he hadn't realized how much stress this had caused me and said he'd been so focused on trying to keep the peace that he let Natalie take things too far. He apologized, not just for her behavior, but for his silence. He told me he never meant to let things get so tense, and that he understood now that asking me to constantly bend wasn't fair. He said he'd talk to Natalie, make it clear that boundaries exist, and that while he wants her to feel welcome, it can't come at the expense of the people already in his life. I appreciated hearing that. For the first time in a while, I felt like my brother had my back again. I'm not expecting miracles, but this was a start. We'll see if things actually change. For now, I'm cautiously hopeful.